Meeting to order. Please stand for pledge to the flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Looks like you do have a quorum. And all of our staff are here too. Thank you. Approval of the minutes of October the 28th. Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any other comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I will
Opposed?
abstain, having not been here.
All
I'm
right.
abstaining as well, Mr. President.
Brett and Brad.
Chuck.
Chuck, sorry. Change my hearing aids here. Public comments. Seeing none, hearing none. Len?
All right, thank you all for being here this morning. We just met last month, and we don't usually do this right away, but here we are. So thanks again for carving out the time. I know you're all busy on this holiday week, but we'll start with our program updates. You should have the charts in your packet, and we'll start at the top with our Talks Away days. At the last meeting, we had the final tally of the number of users through our Talks Away days for the year, but we hadn't yet received the amount of pounds collected. And you might remember that I mentioned that that it felt kind of slow, and we had traffic really kind of backing up on the county road. And that report of the pounds collected told the tale for us. We had, I think it was 10 fewer cars this year than we did last year, but again, it was a lot slower. But we had a lot of large loads, so we generally average about 87 pounds per vehicle through our Talks Away days. For that event, it was 95 pounds per vehicle. So that was, we collected 5,300 more pounds this year than last, and so it just takes longer to unload more. So, and for that particular event, we had 83,600 pounds, which was the largest pull for the most ever for the fifth event. So, and then again, looking at the breakdown, it was really a lot of tires that we had come in, which is a little bit of a head scratcher because we collected tires at the 4 previous events, and the health department had a tire amnesty day this summer as well. So, not sure where all the tires are coming from, but a lot of them came to that event. So, again, at least we have an explanation for why it felt the way it felt. That may not have necessarily appeased the people that had to wait a long time, but at least we know what happened. So to recap for the year, we had 4,141 users, just under the average of the past 10 years, and 361,800 pounds collected for the year. That was well over the average. And the number I always like to look at is what percentage of that material that we collect was what we consider household hazardous waste. So that's the chemicals, bulbs, batteries, really the nasty stuff we want to be sure we collect. And that was 43%, which is a good number. Anytime we're over 40, that's good. So another successful year. And last month I shared the dates and locations for the 2026 events. So we'll, after the first of the year, we'll start getting those published and get them out so people can get them on their calendars. For yard waste recycling centers, October was slower than last year. That's actually the first month this year where we have been seeing fewer visitors than the previous year. It felt like trees held onto the leaves a little longer this year maybe, and that kind of held people off. Again, they're very busy. The sites are very busy. I expect November's numbers to be very high again. We'll likely for the year have over 7,500 users. And to give you a little perspective, prior to 2023, the average, that 7,500 number that we're anticipating for this year will be 3,000 more than the average prior to 2023 when we saw the uptick. So this coming Saturday will be the last day that the centers are open for the season. I'll reopen them again, I think December 22nd. We'll open them back up for Christmas trees, keep them open 24/7 till the 19th of January, then we'll close them up until we reopen them in April. So I did meet with staff from the town of Plainfield about the pending relocation of that particular site. I'll send these around to give you a little sense of where we're talking about. I just have a couple copies. You can pass them. About where we're talking about relocating this. So I've got a couple of circles on here. This is Cartersburg Road. This is Waste Management's truck storage. It used to be Ray's. And then right down here is where we're talking about for the relocating the yard waste recycling center. Technically, this is Clayton, but it is property that's owned by the town of Plainfield. It's the old Belleville wastewater treatment plant. That wastewater treatment plant is no longer in use. One of the big advantages to this location is that we should never have to move this site again. If you'll recall, it moved back in 2008, I believe, to its current location, and then we've been talking for years about it needing to be relocated again. This should put that issue to bed. The location is already fenced. There are two sides to that sheet. The area is already fenced. There is a building there. There are utilities there. So in the meeting with town staff, part of the discussion was there's a blower that operates in that building. It's very loud. Does that blower need to continue to operate? If not, can we take that offline and maybe use that building as our attendant building? Again, there's a functional restroom there, electricity, internet, it's all there. So it makes sense, and again, it's fenced. So it seems like a good solution. I don't love the location just because I think it's going to be difficult for people to find, but it checks a lot of other boxes. And once we help people find it once, they should be able to find it again. So the bottom photo graphic on there, Ryan Lindley from Banning Engineering, the town brought him into the meeting. He's going to do some preliminary work to kind of figure out cost estimate. And he asked, so what do we need? And this was what he said, will you send me something? I said, well, it'll be pretty rudimentary, but that's what I sent him. We want a hard surface to operate on and some bins to be able to push the material back against, which we do not have now at the current location in Plainfield. The agreement that the town has had with the developer through this land swap was that the developer would help cover the costs of relocating the site. So Ryan's putting some plans together with some preliminary cost figures that the town could take to the developer, say here's what we're thinking, and then we'll go from there. So that's kind of where we are at this point. I may have more details to bring to our January meeting. We are not targeting a opening here in 2026, but rather 2027. So we've got a little time to figure it out. But that's what's cooking with Plainfield relocation. Any questions there? If not, I'll move to our Coatesville and North Salem recycling centers. Not a lot to tell. Coatesville was up a ton versus last year. North Salem was down a ton versus last year. November and December will be very busy months out there. We'll keep an eye on it as best we can, and we'll order extra pulls if we need them to be sure people have some space in the bins. Liston Recycling Center, we're on pace to exceed 30,000 users for the year. We're still averaging over 600 a week. Last year we averaged 542 a week, so we're seeing some good growth there. We'll soon eclipse 900 tons of recyclables collected through that location. So,
what has it done for the quality of the sorting?
oh, I mean the material that we are sending, is top notch. I have not heard any negative feedback from any of the vendors that are receiving it, and it's you know, a credit to our attendants out there. They watch it close. Strict. Yeah, and in fact, a couple weeks ago, the local representative for Pratt, who take our the corrugated cardboard, came out and spent a couple hours on Saturday. He said, "I like to come out and see how it works and talk to people." And and if you know our attendant Paul out there, he is very fastidious about what goes in and what doesn't, and you know, to the point that even, you know, some of the
He called me out.
yeah, he even called Amy out a couple weeks ago. But like the molded brown paper, like you might see around, included in some packaging, that should go in with our commingled stuff. It shouldn't go in with the corrugated stuff. And you know, Ryan from Pratt was out there and he was helping unload, and he was trying to throw some of the molded stuff in there. And Paul was having none of it. Nope, that goes in the other one. And Ryan's like, you know, you can, like, up to 2% contamination is fine in this thing. And, you know, he was saying that would be like 120 pounds worth in this receiver box. And Paul wasn't hearing none of it. So we're sending very clean material out there. So
Amy, you of all people.
I laughed. It was new information. I learned something.
But that does speak to the nuance of different programs have different rules, and you know, so that's why there's job security, I guess, for what we're doing. We do expect that, especially leading up to and after Christmas, it's going to be crazy out there. Last year, we learned, and I've got 3 attendants scheduled for some of those days after Christmas, especially. Those will be especially busy days. And the other thing we're working against this year is Christmas Day and New Year's Day are both on Thursdays. Thursdays are a day that we are ordinarily open out there. We will be closed this year, so it's just going to push that demand to some of the other days. It's going to be overwhelmed at times, and we'll just do the best we can to manage it. So. I think that's all I had for that part of my report. The next thing that we needed to talk about was the yard waste recycling centers and our discussion about potentially increasing pricing out there. So last month we talked about it a little bit, and I emailed the board some information a couple weeks ago, a couple of spreadsheets that look like this. The price increase spreadsheet, the green box is our current pricing, and then I've got, you know, columns for 25, 50, and 75% increases. Excuse me. And you'll notice there's kind of a lot of flexibility in the way we have used the pricing guidelines in the past. Just because somebody pulls up with a 6-foot pickup truck bed of material, a lot of different, and we charge them based on volume, but depending on how high they stack it, what it is, you know, I like to give our attendants some flexibility in how they assess the pricing. And I know there is some variability between the attendants, you know, it's just the nature of it. So, and I also kind of, on that spreadsheet, you'll see some adjusted figures. That was just me kind of messing with them to keep them at 25-cent increments or $1 increments to try to keep it easy on our people as well. Mr. Bridget shared his feelings of you know, increasing the price of the smaller loads, the bags, bundles, and containers at the 50%, and then maybe 75% for larger loads. And I shared some comparison data from Green Cycle, who has a couple of facilities nearby, one in, I guess they're calling it Zionsville, it's more Lebanon, yeah. It's not far from Brownsburg, frankly, and then the Danville location. So to give you some sense, they're charging $35 per pickup truck load of brush or mixed yard waste. If you have a truck and trailer, it's $80. And they may also provide some variability depending on how high you have it stacked in the truck. That's not really advertised on their websites. I don't know. So that's some comparison data. And then the other sheet was just some historical information initially, and then I did some averages and some predicted amounts on the sheet that you have with you today. And those, my predicted figures in the green column are kind of based on the changes that Mr. Bridget had proposed. So I guess the long and the short of it is, if we want to assume that my predictions are pretty close and our costs are similar, you know, even with those adjustments, we'll probably still be spending about $75,000 more than we realize. But again, the sites aren't there to.
We're not for profit.
We're not for profit. We're diverting a lot of material. But that kind of number seems a little easier to stomach than some six-figure numbers. So it is all kind of nebulous, but I'd love to hear what you all think.
Thoughts from the board, and Lynn, I would add, and you put it in your notes, but if we do something, maybe we should consider revisiting this on a more regular basis than let it go for however long it's been, a long time. So we need to keep that in mind as well. And Dan, thank you for your.
I'm not married to this idea. I just wanted to throw something out for us to talk about.
So thank you.
And I know Mr. Bridget is a user of the Plainfield location, so you've been out there and you.
While the percentage is high, the dollar out of pocket really isn't that big a change.
No, it's a massive percentage, but the amount of dollars is.
Minimum. What's the thoughts of the board?
I'm agreeable with Dan's suggested increases.
Yeah, I am as well, as long as, you know, Green Cycle is for profit, correct? Yeah, so as long as we're a little bit under them as a benchmark, then I think that's an acceptable approach. Again, we're not for profit, but we still can't always operate in the red as bad as we have been, right? We need to try to correct that if we can.
Lynn, I'm sorry, go ahead, Dan.
Excuse me,
No.
Mr. President. I did have, you brought up that the other company if there's a trailer, there's an additional charge. Do we do that too?
It's just kind of woven into our kind of how it is structured here. You know, truck and trailer, we're looking at total capacity.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yes, I know if somebody brings a truck and trailer, they're gonna get charged more. Again, we're just trying to get our heads around the volume of material people are.
You threw out an $80 figure, and I didn't see anything close to that on here, so.
No, that's, and I will say, those figures from Green Cycle seem to be higher right now because they move their prices based on what they need. And in fact, earlier this month, they published a Facebook post, and it was, we're essentially operating at or near capacity. We don't really want any more material because they have also seen the uptick in material coming. And a side note, all the material we collect at our yard waste sites ends up at Green Cycle. It may be their Troy Avenue location, or their northwest side location. But that's where our contractor ends up taking that material, so.
Lynn, I assume if we approve this, you would implement this in 26.
Yeah, that would be, yes. That'll give us time to get our people updated on it and get some things published. Yeah.
So if we're charging, for instance, $30 for a 10-foot capacity, how much is Green Cycle charging us to take the product if that's where we're taking it in the end?
So right now, our contractor, it's Prestige Tree Service. So they have some of the massive, I call them lightning loaders with a grapple and a 40-yard box on the back of it. Every 40-yard box, $567 is what we pay, and that for them to come get it, load it, haul it off to Green Cycle. So.
And so that's factored in here under our operations number?
Yes, that's correct. That is the majority of that is paying Prestige. So last week we got an invoice that you'll see here. It was 16 loads from one of the sites and 17 from the other, I think, and it was almost $19,500 for them and that was them cleaning out both of the sites.
They were there when we were visiting the site in Brownsburg.
That's right, yeah. And we try to mitigate that a little bit, like right now at Brownsburg, we've got 2 40-yard roll-off boxes set from Ray's that the town is loading leaves into because the leaves come in so quickly. And we have those boxes pulled regularly, about twice a week right now. Again, it's going to Green Cycle, but that's just another way to manage the waste. And with the town helping, we save a little bit of money that way.
Pleasure of the board. Probably should have a motion, I would guess, in a second, if we're going to do this or not do it.
So the motion, are we looking at what kind of rate increase are we looking at though?
So, right, so for, if you're looking here, the top tier here is kind of for smaller loads. It's the people that show up in their minivan with 3 loads of leaves in the back. So, right now they're getting charged about $1 for lawn and leaf bag. So we'll probably see that go to every bit of $1.50 or $2 a bag. Again, it's gonna kind of depend on who's there in the window.
Judgment.
And then, so that, the top tier would go to the 50%, and then the bottom tier, for the larger loads, trucks and trailers, up to the 75% increase. So, where people have been paying, for a 6 or 8 foot truck bed, they may be paying $10 or $12. We'll probably tell them $15, $18, $20. Again, depending on how high they have it stacked.
Mr. President, I would move that we would raise the container bag and bundle rate by 50% and the truck and trailer rate by 75%.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion?
Effective January 1st.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
So are they told that amount in advance or do they know?
So we publish it on our website, and we'll get some pricing postcards made. It's been the same for so long, people they know right now, but and we'll get some posters put in the window.
If they're there and dump it and then they're like, oh, I thought it was.
Yeah, and they should, right.
And they don't have any cash, which is
You
common.
want to go back and get it and put it in the truck?
We asked them to check in first, so we know how much, but yeah.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you all.
Lynn, your other comment to us on here dealt with credit card or debit cards.
Absolutely.
I think we'll leave that up to you and staff to figure that out and implement it if you want, or
Okay.
not if you don't want to. So I would guess
People
that,
carrying cash is.
Yes.
I'm a cash guy, but it's
Yeah.
rare. It's rare anymore.
It has, yeah, over time, it has become more of a hassle for people.
Mhm.
Again, the folks that are there routinely know, and they, but we're seeing a lot of new people. And so my chief concern is getting our attendants to the point where they're comfortable accepting it, and then do we have infrastructure that's gonna be solid enough to manage it? And then the other nuance, and I'll have to just ask some questions, is I don't believe that we can just absorb the credit card fees. That we need to tack that on as well, but I'll get with Mr. Morris and we'll see what we can.
More and more places are tacking that on.
Yes.
It's had a
Usually on
lawnmower
larger
repair
amounts,
and.
though, I don't know that you want to add 3% to $10.
Well, I'm just not sure as a unit of government that we are
Oh,
even allowed
legally,
to, to eat
understood.
it. Yeah, that's been my understanding. But there's other districts that do it, so I'll do some homework.
I can say it's illegal for the county to absorb the fees for property taxes. But I think the other offices pretty much all take credit cards and
And absorb the fees.
absorb the fees. But property taxes, it would
Maybe
be
that's-
millions of dollars.
Yeah. Maybe that's the nuance, okay.
If we find that you have to charge, if that's not the case, should we amend the motion to say that if it's required that he can make that adjustment, or rather than coming back for another board meeting?
Well, that motion didn't address the credit card. I think we gave the discretion to them.
Okay.
they can,
Hopefully I'll have some more info by the January meeting. We'll have time to, okay.
you can let us know. Yeah.
We'll see what figures out. Okay, thank you.
Lynn, the other, you've never, I don't recall reporting anything, but the other concern that I've thought about is theft of a lot of cash in the centers, the building and
Correct.
so on. And some of the staff there are not the youngest and most nimble people, and they're getting hurt or whatever. So credit cards might help with some of that.
True,
But
yes.
I don't think we've ever had any robbery, have we?
Not while it's been open. We did have a break-in and somebody stole the air
After the
conditioner.
fact.
Yeah, after the fact, but not while anybody's been there. But, and that was another reason to add the cameras at the sites. Again, that's not foolproof certainly, but you make a good point.
Right.
All right, a couple other
Go ahead.
items for director's report. I did sit down with Mr. Gauss and Mr. Wicker last Monday for my annual review. Appreciated their time and feedback,
As you can see, he's still here.
which I appreciated that. So did my family, thank you. I'm happy to provide copies of the evaluation tool that we used. If anybody's interested in that, let me know and I'll get you a copy of that. One thing that did not make it to the agenda, but I thought of this morning, our Citizens Advisory Committee, every year the board appoints or reappoints members to that body. Excuse me, I'm aware of a couple of changes for 2026. One being that Mark Howell, who lives here in Danville, he and his wife are relocating to Columbus, Indiana, so he let me know this week he's no longer going to be able to serve. He's been an asset, and we've enjoyed having him on that body. And then Justin Buster, who has been the landfill operations manager here, has been promoted. Many of you may know Brad Eisenhart, has worked for Waste Management for many years. Brad has retired. Justin's stepping into Brad's shoes, and then a young man named Hunter, and I don't remember Hunter's last name, but Hunter is taking over Justin's role here locally. And so Justin mentioned at the last CAC meeting that it would make sense for Hunter to serve on the CAC beginning in 2026. So I'll bring a resolution to our January meeting with Mr. Howell no longer being appointed and having Hunter in Justin's place. But there are no limits or there are some stipulations, but if the board has other folks that you are aware of that might be good fits for our Citizens Advisory Committee, we generally meet 3 times a year. That committee meets for budget review twice, and budget review once and grant review twice. They're an important part of what we do. So if you have ideas, now would be a good time, and I can have some conversation with folks, and then maybe consider them for appointment January at our January meeting. So just wanted to send that out, put that out there for you all. Last note for director's report is our year-end lunch, December 12th, Country Club of Indianapolis. You all should have received some email invitations. I know we've gotten a couple of RSVPs from the board. Our CAC, many of them are coming and bringing a guest, and many of our employees are doing the same. But if we haven't heard from you and you plan to come, please reach out and let us know. I think you all have one of those in your mix. So it's always a good time, and appreciate being able to get together. So I think that's all I had for director's report.
Okay, thank you, Lynn. New business, I guess, we are down to, or no?
Financial
No,
report.
financial report, sorry,
All right.
I'm on the wrong page. Yes.
All right, for our financial facts summary, just looking at the month end, October 31st, not a lot new or different here. Again, we'll show November and December figures and some year-end figures at our January meeting. That might be a little more informative. Our income chart for final disposal fee for the year, we're about $36,000 ahead of where we were year to date last year, and over $200,000 ahead of the average. So those adjustments that the board has approved in our final disposal fee we're seeing that effect. So Yard Waste Recycling Center, no surprise there. We're $8,000 ahead of where we were last year, $18,000 ahead of the average. And again, when you're talking about loads of $6 and $12 and $22, it takes a lot of those loads to amount to what we're seeing. But I expect that we'll be up over $45,000 of income there for this year. And those backside of that one is the typical comparison for those that like charts and graphs. Thank you. The next item under financial report are some budget transfers. As we move to the end of the year, just need to move some money around within the budget, not requesting any new money here, just trying to cover some bases.
Chair would entertain a motion for these budget transfers.
So moved.
It's been moved by Brett, seconded by Bob. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Our general fund register of claims for November, and I think we can do these together, the special project fund as well. Need a motion on those.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve as presented.
Any other questions for Lynn? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
And just one note on that special projects fund, that was at last month's meeting, the board approved payment for the cameras for town of Coatesville at the recycling center. So when I let them know that we would be sending them a check, they were happy to hear that, obviously. So,
Good.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
New business, request for additional appropriation.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm
Katie.
sorry, I was just gonna ask who seconded that last motion. Thank you very much.
Mr. Gentry. Yep. Go ahead, Lynn, on the additional.
Okay.
Other services and charges and so on.
Yes. So we've got a couple of needs in a couple of buckets here. So one is for our other services and charges. That's really where we run our programs out of that portion of our budget. And there are kind of three pieces to that. So we need some extra funds for additional poles at our Coatesville and North Salem recycling centers to the tune of $2,000. We need about $48,000 over what we budgeted for our yard waste recycling centers that we've talked about all year. And then one that I didn't make it to your notes was, I realized yesterday, the amount that we budgeted for the Hendricks County Special Projects Fund, which acts as an expense against our general fund budget, is going to be low based on what we had anticipated the income from the landfill to be. So requesting $3,500 more there. So for the other services and charges portion, the additional would be $2,000 for Coatesville and North Salem, $48,000 for yard waste recycling centers, $3,500 for special projects fund. So that total would be $53,500. And then the other bucket is under personal services. We're often playing catch up when it comes to personnel because we try to mirror what the county does. Often we don't know what the county is going to do when we're preparing our budget. So the request there would be for an additional $7,500 that would be spread across administrative wages, yard waste wages, perf expense, and health insurance.
And if we approve these, Lynn will go to the county council and ask for their approval.
Correct.
Well,
Yes, it's still solid waste or recycling district money, but we have to step through the process with the county council.
Chair would entertain a motion if.
Move for approval.
It's been moved by Mr. Gentry,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Bridget. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And then we have and Lynn told us for 27, he's gonna try to do a better job on projecting budgets and so on.
I'm just
but
gonna-
It's hard, so.
I'm gonna build some more room in, so hopefully we don't have to chase our tails quite as much.
When we need to approve this salary resolution for 2025, the resolution number is 2025-05 for 26, for the year 26.
That is correct, and this mirrors what was implemented by the county, which is a cost of living adjustment of 3%, and then bonus pay up to 1% per employee. County made some significant changes to how all of that was handled this year, but I appreciate Mrs. Marsh's help and Ann Stark as well was helpful in helping me understand those changes and how to administer them. And I believe this resolution does a good job of mirroring what the county is doing.
Chair would entertain a motion.
Move for approval of resolution 2025-05.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any other questions about that? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Thank you, and thank you to the three of you for what you do.
Thank you.
All right,
I have
go ahead.
3 quick announcements. Again, let us know if you plan to attend. You're welcome to bring a guest. Come hungry. We should have you out by 1 or 1:15 on that day if you've got afternoon things to do. Our next board meeting will be Tuesday, January 27th. And I will likely be reaching out to those of you that are representatives from our towns to see if in fact you've been reappointed. We'd love to have you all back, and same for the county council. So if and when you know whether or not you'll be back, I'd appreciate knowing it so we can plan ahead.
Mr. President,
Yes.
the 27th is legislative conference for AIC, and I'm not sure who of 5 of us will be going to that, but I know I will, but I don't, is that a commissioner meeting that day?
Should be the fourth
So-
Tuesday.
So you guys probably would not be going that morning. So I just wanted you aware of that
Thank you.
assuming I'm reappointed.
Yes, we have a commissioners meeting
Yeah,
then.
so it wouldn't affect.
All right.
My only other thing was Happy Thanksgiving.
And to each of you as well. Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, and have a nice Thanksgiving, and I guess we won't see you, so have a Merry Christmas as well.
That's correct.
Warren, please stand for the pledge of allegiance and prayer if you choose to. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, as we approach Thanksgiving, we are truly thankful to you for all you've blessed us with. Please reach down and touch those who are less fortunate, who in all of our society, there are many who need your guidance. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen. If you haven't signed in out front, please do so. I have hardly anybody here anyway. First item on the agenda is the approval minute from November the 12th.
So moved.
I'll second it. Move in second. Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
They're not opposed. Motion carries. Claims to be paid. Marina Excavating, 1875. Yes. What about the $875? Oh, we don't want to, $2,900. Chair will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Move in second. Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Next is the acceptance of the auditor's report for the same month.
Move to accept the auditor's report.
Second.
Move in second. Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are not opposed. Motion carries. Mr. Tyrwell? Dave Gaston?
At the last meeting, we had the sealed quotes for the Barnett, the 3 phases of the Barnett regulated drain work. You'll see my recommendations for phase 1, $18,470.00 for land works. They were the lowest and most responsive bidder. Phase 2, $58,206 by Moraine Excavating. They were the lowest, most responsive bidder. In phase 3, $69,800, Moraine Excavating. They were the lowest, most responsible bidder.
Chair will entertain a motion to follow the surveyor's recommendation.
So
Move for approval.
Been moved by Mr. Wicker, and seconded by Mr. Maloney. Is there further discussion? Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And none opposed. Motion carries.
This 2004.
Sorry.
That's fine.
So we have quotes to be opened on the William Botts Phase 2. This, you will remember, we've done some work already from the John Green Arm. This is at the very northeast part of the county, 1,000 north and 900 east. So this is the Green Arm. We've dredged out from the intersection of the Green Arm down to 1,000. This is going north through these woods, the open ditch, all the way to here. That's where the open ditch ends, and it's a tile all the way to the Boone County line. So that's what this phase 2 is all about. And we have, quotes.
Okay. We've received 3 quotes for this project. First one is from Beechwood Construction. In the amount of $50,800. Second is from Alexander Contractors. In the amount of $44,901.78. And the last is from Moraine Excavating. In the amount of $52,000.
We'd like a chance to take a look at those, and then I can come back with a recommendation.
At this meeting or?
There's no rush, so
Okay.
Yeah, let's go with the next meeting,
Okay.
and that'll be in 2 weeks. We also have quotes for a project in Acres of Diamonds, which is just north of Danville on 236. It is just a little subdivision. We did take this drain in back in 1995, and it's to replace a pipe right through here. And again, I'll scope out so you can see. This is 39, 236 split. It's a little subdivision on the west side of the road. Go ahead, Emily.
First quote is from Beechwood. In the amount of $31,120. Second is from Alexander Contractors. In the amount of $28,095. Next is from Moraine Excavating. In the amount of $24,670. And the last is from Mink Excavating. This one's gonna be tricky. In the amount of $61,000.
I would like a chance to review those as well.
290 feet.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's why we have sealed quotes.
Gee, man.
I think we're on this,
Yeah. Okay, so if you'll give me a chance, my office a chance to review those and come back with a recommendation, I would appreciate that at the next meeting. The next thing I'd like to bring up, it's not on your agenda, but I've added it. It's the Hendricks County Commissioner's policy on attendance via electronic means. And so the county commissioners approved a policy back in 2021 about, it mirrored the state code on attendance via whatever, yeah, video. And so, Greg, you want to take over?
I guess.
Well, I can.
They're all of it. What do you want to know?
Yeah. You have to be seen and heard. So the Indiana code says you have to be seen
Yeah.
and heard. The public has to see you and hear you. And the vote has to be by a roll call vote, not just voice.
It's got some nuances like the person not here cannot decide or cast the deciding vote, which is kind of strange, actually. So it has some nuances like that. But seen and heard is probably the key. Seen and heard.
And in the past, we've been heard but not seen.
Yeah.
Well, my recommendation, if you don't agree with it, doesn't hurt my feelings, but if you're not here, you're just not here. Because most of the time, it's perfunctory stuff anyway. So I don't have a problem with the roll call vote, but I don't want to go through I personally don't want to go through the part of having the video for the people who aren't here. It could be any one of the five of us who aren't here.
I think in the past, it's been members just wanting to fulfill their responsibility and being a part of the meeting. So I just wanted to bring that out. We don't want to get crossways with anybody. So,
but maybe it's up to the commissioner to look at the policy that we adopted, because that's what you're following, correct? So the
I
commissioner
think you're
probably
right.
should address
I think
that
you're right.
if
So
we
when
so
it-
choose.
So when it says heard and seen,
Zoom it.
can that be done in this room?
I mean,
No,
they
you
can
make it.
see
Yeah.
the video if it's a Teams meeting.
Yeah.
They can, as long as they can see and hear, yeah. I think that would meet that.
Who is to be heard and seen? So if
The five of us.
Michael is members somewhere, and we're the ones that need to see him and hear him,
No, the
not,
public
not
needs to see him.
necessarily the public.
I would think it's the
public-
public.
All of the
Public
public.
needs to see it.
Okay, all right.
So that has to be on the video screen.
So
That'd be a
they,
Teams meeting.
wherever we're meeting, they've got to be able to see something. Yeah,
I don't want somebody to challenge something
right.
because it electronically
Yeah.
it failed.
Yeah.
So I don't know that we've ever had a vote where there was a deciding vote cast. It's always been perfunctory, and as Dave said, the people who couldn't be here felt an obligation to attend, and I respect that, but I think in the future, if you're not here, you're just not here. I think that's the easiest way. But I think the commissioner, as Mr. Wicker said, I think that's a policy that we invoke, and that's a policy we need to address then.
Is that also for the camera as well as recording and for everyone in here? Like can that see the screen?
I believe it can, but I have to have a look. We can look on YouTube and check
Our
it
meetings,
out.
our meetings they do have to be live streamed, don't they?
Yes, they are, and they're recorded. Anybody can see them on, I think, YouTube. You can go back and look at them. So, as long as they can be seen and heard.
Is that just in this room, seen and heard in this room, or seen and heard also on the camera?
I can't.
Question for Doug, probably.
It's not a problem until it's a problem, Michael.
Great question.
The communication has to be able to be had between all the board members,
Okay.
back and forth.
To me, that's easy enough
Yeah.
to be done, but the public may not be as easy. So,
Right.
yeah,
It's not affected anything that we've done.
okay.
I think it was done during COVID.
Oh, absolutely.
Clearly it was.
Absolutely. Because we had a policy where people could actually project their voices into our meetings, and then we changed the policy to where after COVID kind of rescinded, then you could listen, but you couldn't be heard. Okay. So the commissioners then will address that, Dave.
Okay. And then policy on new contractors, September 23rd, the board voted to any new contractor that wanted to do work for the drainage board had to have their packets in by October 31st. And so you might remember that discussion. I called all the contractors who didn't get on last year, and they all submitted. They all did great. But it's come to my attention that maybe another contractor that's new wants to get on for next year. Bob and I had this discussion. I said, Bob, the policy is no, but if you want to have discussion with the drainage board, we can have that discussion here at this meeting.
We set precedents prior and didn't allow contractors on. I certainly wouldn't do it now. Because it would upset the ones that waited a year to submit their packets.
Yeah.
I would just say, I'm sorry, no.
I agree with that, but
Here's your
I
policy.
I respectfully disagree with, I think any contractor who would submit their paperwork to the staff should be able, within a month, be able to make a bid. And we can't do that right now.
This is the policy you all.
So what do you tell all the other contractors
I
that
did-
you followed the rules, but?
No, I'm saying just in the future. In future, have a date where maybe it's June the 10th or whatever. Or after this, if you submit your paperwork to the staff, they approve it, you're good. You're good to bid. Because we eliminate contractors.
Yeah, but when I asked you, she said you had 20-some contractors. Yeah, that's a nice pool.
It is, but if you heard this morning, 3 or 4. And
Right.
the same 3 or 4 every time. And I had a problem with them, that nobody else did.
Well, I think too that, last time we did this, we were trying to figure out a way to make this work, but how do we make it easy for the staff everyone to still fulfill this duty by October 31st, but to allow, if someone new
you know, to have them be able to give bids within a month. You know, somebody that's just starting a business or wants to give a bid, so there's more than four.
That's the way I feel. That's
Like,
what
you
I
know,
feel.
how do
we do
we
that?
entertain that and make that
How do
feasible?
we do that? I think it just, as Brad said, I think we have to have a time in the future where, okay, after this, you know, any contract, if you don't agree with me, that, you know, it doesn't hurt my feelings, but any contractor in the future, after whatever date we set in the summer or whatever, if you submit your paperwork and Dave and Tiffany review it, say, hey, this guy can do his, he's qualified, then he should be on the list.
And nobody would file it by November 1st. Then why file it by November 1st?
I don't have a problem with that either. I think it just should be open to whoever, you know, and you're gonna know once people submit their paperwork, if they have any understanding, you know, you understand slopes, you understand, you know, drainage coefficients, do you understand those things? And you'll see if they don't. I know it cause some heartburn for you guys because it would scare you. And if you don't want to do it, we won't do it. But I just want to, somehow I want to encourage more people to bid.
I like the idea of encouraging more people to bid. I do. Being on the other side of it where you all don't see behind the scenes, it is so organized the way we have it. Not trying to limit people, but it's so organized for us to have it done. It's always very scary when we try to just run by the seat of our pants on these things. And there's a lot of money in contractors that we pay out every year. So just throwing that out for your all.
Well, I understand. If you had a new bidder who you were very unfamiliar with and his bid was extremely low, then
Our policy is on new bidders, we give them small projects just to see what they can do. We build it up. So if we had the John Green and we had a bunch of new bidders, new contractors, I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. So it takes a year or so to build that confidence anyway.
Well, maybe that's kind of what Michael and I are talking about. Maybe our introductory process, maybe we need an introductory process that allows people not to be on the big list, but to be on the introductory list. Be on a list that
Small
does.
projects.
Yes.
And I keep all of that organized, and we did get some new contractors that we've never had before apply with the new packet this year, so,
Yeah, that was encouraging.
yeah.
Okay.
You know how many?
Nope, I'll have to go look on my desk. Just a couple,
handful.
yeah.
I don't have a problem encouraging new people. Contractor down in Coatesville wanted to be involved. He finally got to the point that he said, it's too much. I don't want to, I've got enough private work. I don't want to go through
Well, there
this
are a
process.
number of people who don't want to work for the government
Yeah.
because of our rules.
Yep, that's true.
Maybe think about developing a policy
Okay.
that has an introductory, like a
Level.
primary elementary
Sure.
level.
Yeah.
And the junior
We could
high,
do
high
that.
school level.
It's not a bad thought.
Maybe that would help encourage them to get started, because we do need to help young, as Michael said, a new startup, a young
Right.
person who buys has the knowledge, knows how to do it, but doesn't have the wherewithal right now. He has the knowledge, but doesn't have
Right.
all the equipment or the staff. Allow them just to get started somehow.
Yep. Yes, we can absolutely
That's
look
the
into that.
discussion I wanted to have.
Okay.
And I think maybe we come out with something there.
So are we done with that discussion? I
We
wanted to add one more thing before I call Joe up. So there have been 4 contractors that have not submitted their paperwork yet.
3 now. I believe
3.
One of them got.
We've called them.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So everybody that submitted last year that didn't submit yet, Tiffany has called to say, hey, you need to get this in, so we don't run into what we ran into last year.
Right.
So I
So
just
how much
wanted to
time do they
FYI
have?
you.
They have all assured me they will have it in this week, so.
Yeah,
Okay,
they'll get it in.
okay.
But like last year, it slipped through the cracks. We're not letting that happen this year. I just wanted to give the board
Yeah, you and I had that
input.
conversation. Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Him and I had
lastly,
that conversation.
Joe Rogers with ADS, plastic pipe. So you will recall, about a month ago, we had Rinker with the Concrete Pipe Association up, and I thought we need to have the Plastic Pipe Association here as well, to kind of give us a presentation. And Joe's been around a long time, and Joe's gonna present the plastic pipe to you all. Joe, do I need to bring up are you good with that?
Yeah, perfect.
And you just tell me when you want me to switch slides.
Okay.
I'll drive.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm Joe Rogers. I'm with ADS. ADS is the largest plastic pipe manufacturer in the country. Go ahead. A little bit about myself. I've been in Hendricks County since 2005. This is my family, a bunch of Brownford Bulldogs. So everybody's having a real good time with all the money they're spending up there.
They did spend a lot of money.
And a Boilermaker, just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Go on you.
There you go. So, on my third try, I actually recently summited Mount Princeton in Colorado. So anyway,
Well done.
yeah, that was a good one. So that's a little bit about me. This is a little bit about our company. We make all of these things that if you're in the industry, you've probably seen. The yellow storm tech chambers up at the top for underground retention, detention. Black HDPE pipe, N12 pipe. The gray HP pipe, which is polypropylene. PVC basins, the Nyloplast basins, of course, single wall pipe. Septic chambers and septic tanks. And down here, we actually recently, this might come into play, I just put it on here at some point. We recently bought a company that makes packaged treatment plants, so for wastewater. So if you get kind of out of service areas, that's something that comes into play also. So. Good.
Where was that system from?
This one?
Yeah.
It's a company out of Oregon. Yeah.
It's a good outfit.
Are you familiar with them?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So just a little different way to look at what we do. We capture, convey, store, and treat stormwater. This, for your water quality standards, you guys at the county level require that the water quality units meet New Jersey NJCAT, NJDEP requirements. For 2025, there are new requirements. Manufacturers went back to the drawing board and created a bunch of new units. This is our new unit, which happens to be the best performing unit out there. So as you have your construction projects, you'll be seeing this on the plans.
This is structural BMP.
Correct. Hydrodynamic separator.
Yeah.
So black pipe, of course, been around for a very long time. HDPE, high density polyethylene. This pipe can be made from virgin or non-virgin resin. ASTM F2648. That spec covers pipe that's primarily made for commercial applications. It is made with at least 40% recycled content. And it's kind of, the reason I say it's made for commercial applications is its targeted service life is about 35 to 40 years. Then there's also the AASHTO M294, which actually just recently was modified. It's historically been a virgin-only spec, but it was recently modified to allow for recycled product also, because the ability to make recycled pipe perform at or above virgin levels, it exists now, recognized by AASHTO. Indiana DOT has not yet gone that direction, but that is out there. Indiana DOT is one of the few in the Midwest. Indiana and Minnesota have not approved it yet. Once that gets approved, you'll likely start seeing a lot of recycled content, even in the DOT grade pipe. So, and we are the #1 consumer of recycled plastic in the country. The other product that we brought to market somewhere around 2009 or so is the HP. It's the corrugated polypropylene pipe. Those are the ASTM and AASHTO standards. The top two are for stormwater. The bottom one is for sanitary sewer. This product is approved by IDEM for gravity sanitary sewer applications also. Good. So now let's just drill into some calculations.
Well, that's fun.
I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
But this right here, vertical arching factor, that is kind of a key point. Plastic pipe is flexible, right? So flexible things will move away from the load. So that's kind of a key concept. So you have flexible pipe, which is plastic, or rigid pipe, which is generally concrete pipe. Rigid pipe does not move away from the load. So ultimately, it carries more load than the soil column that's on top of the pipe. The prism is kind of like a trapezoid like that, versus a flexible pipe moves away from the load, it sheds the load, so it feels less load than a rigid pipe. So that's kind of how that works. So, good. Two parts of this brief presentation. We'll talk about kind of commercial, residential, transportation kind of applications, and then we'll come back. And I think one of the main topics you want to talk about is the agricultural applications also, right? That was kind of the inference that I got, so go ahead.
Skip one, sorry.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go back?
Yeah, if you don't mind. Okay, so the benefits of plastic pipe, of course, it's lightweight, easy to handle, easy to cut, cost-effective material, generally less expensive than other materials. It goes in faster than, for instance, concrete pipe. Has great joints. Again, one of the products that we talked about has a sanitary sewer grade joint, which of course that's a very key component. We don't want infiltration, exfiltration, et cetera. 20-foot lengths are the standard lengths. If you get deep where you're in a trench box application, generally contractors will want a shorter pipe, so we also make 13-footers. Corrugated outside, smooth inside, so because it's smooth, you get the Manning-Zen of 0.012, right? The historical objection to plastic pipe is that it's installation sensitive, right? Because it's flexible, if the contractor doesn't get it in just right, then there's negative consequences to that, right? So that's kind of the historical objection to the black pipe. The industry response is the gray pipe, the corrugated polypropylene pipe. So next. This is just a video, just a quick video of just kind of demonstrating just the stiffness of the pipe and by having a stiffer pipe, you're removing that installation sensitivity objection. Good. Polypropylene, the benefits of it. So polypropylene in Europe and Australia, because of the resins that are derived primarily from natural gas, for the last 50 years, Europe and Australia have used a lot of polypropylene, and America used a lot of polyethylene, just because of availability. But due to the sensitivity, kind of moved about 10 years ago. A lot of our objective towards the polypropylene, due to the high strength to weight ratio, the stiffness, high tensile strength, etc. One of the peripheral benefits of the polypropylene versus the polyethylene is that environmental stress cracking. When you get a lot of stress in the pipe wall of the black pipe, it tends to crack, and the polypropylene cracks much less so also. So, next. So again, the key points to the polypropylene, the benefits of the polypropylene pipe, stiffness, joints, 100-year service life, and cost effective. Yes. This is kind of a demonstration. So the pipes, the geometry of the pipes are generally the same. The corrugation's design is the same. The smooth liner on the inside is the same. However, with the higher modulus material, the polypropylene being higher modulus than the polyethylene, this is what you get with the stiffness. So in the 12-inch diameter, the stiffness for 12-inch HDPE PE pipe is about 50 PSI versus the gray pipe, you're looking at more than double that. So across the board, you're looking at 2 to 3x increase in pipe stiffness. So as you're in the trench and that consolidation of the material in the envelope around the pipe, as that consolidation is happening, we have more strength or more resistance to that consolidation force with the polypropylene. Little bump you see here is that's for the sanitary sewer pipe right there, and that's because there's actually more weight in there. There's a third wall on it, but that's just a little side point. So next. Joint design. The joints on the polypropylene pipe, we stretched them out. So black pipe, the HDPE pipe, or concrete pipe have very short bell and spigot joints. There's not a long engagement length. This pipe has a rather long engagement length. Once you get up into those mid to large sizes, it's about 8 to 10 inches in length. So those joints, there's an overlap in the joints of 8 to 10 inches. So very little opportunity to pull apart and things like that. There's also 2 gaskets on the spigot, and then of course all the lab testing that meets sanitary sewer requirements also. So next. Of course, with the longer pipe, we have fewer joints, and joints are a spot that you'll typically see problems in a pipeline, so it's good to have fewer joints. So this is the traditional material that has been used in Hendricks County generally. The HP pipe is gaining acceptance very rapidly. Both great products. Both products, if they're put in right, are going to last 100 years. Trench detail. So we want to have a granular envelope around the pipe. That's generally going to be either like indot number 8 stone or B-baro. And I apologize, you probably can't see that very well, but minimum cover here for 12 to 48 inch, we need 12 inches of cover for a H25 load, or 24 inches of cover for a 60 inch pipe. And then here, this is just point this out. There's a perception frequently that plastic pipes can't be buried deep, but by diameter and class 1 material, so a clean crushed limestone, these pipes, you've got cover limits in the low 30s to low 40s. So next. This one is really just intended to show a REMA, that's the Railroad Association, FAA, Army Corps, Navy have all included the polypropylene pipe in their specifications. Key points here, 12 through 60 inch are the diameters that this product is made in. It's INDOT approved through 48 inch, currently working on the 60 inch approval. It's approved by IDEM for gravity sanitary sewers. In the county, we've got gravity sanitary in Plainfield and large diameter 48, I believe, in front of Lowe's in Brownsburg. Indianapolis approves it through 60 inch. Fort Wayne, South Bend, Evansville, you can read it. A lot of communities approve this product. LTAP. You guys are familiar with LTAP, right? Yep. Okay. So the same folks that wrote your stormwater technical standards manual recently being about 3 years ago, at the prompting of LTAP, created a template or a boilerplate standard for the whole state. So municipalities that want to adopt it can essentially just adopt it. They can take it, they can modify it, but it's there as a starting point for municipalities so that they don't have to start from scratch on every spec. So Burke, who does your work, did that document. And this is really the key point relative to the plastic pipe in there. This last sentence in bold is pretty typical. It's in your standards. If the storm sewer is placed within the road right of way or an area subject to loading, your standards say it needs to be concrete. The LTAP standard here has also incorporated the polypropylene pipe based on the performance that they've seen across the board. So that's included there now also. Next.
We might need to update our ordinance because we usually try to follow LTAP on a lot of their recommendations from Purdue.
This is a good document, and if you move towards the LTAP document, it is worked into that. Siavash worked that in, but essentially this is something that a lot of people have ignored for quite some time. Essentially, people have done a good job of looking at plastic pipe and making sure that it's installed properly. And one of the things that we do when we do that is we make sure that we're controlling the deflection. So this document says, okay, if we have a plastic pipe with less than 5% deflection, it's considered a good installation. If it's in that 5 to 7.5% range, it's considered a fair installation, so on and so forth. Now this is the piece that is people are doing a better job of looking at that now. Just saying, hey, concrete pipe, if we have a crack, that's something we want to control also, right? So a good installation would be less than a 1/100th of an inch crack, and so on and so forth. So, next please. So plastic pipe, this is what we're talking about, deflection, right? A plastic pipe is round, and then when we put it under load, we talked about it's good that it moves away from the load, right? That it sheds the load. That's good to an extent, right? That's good to move away from the load, but we don't want to have too much deflection. If we have too much deflection, then we have too much stress in the pipe wall, and that leads to other long-term problems. So, NDOT, section 71509, that is realistically verbatim with AASHTO section 30. And essentially they allow 5% deflection as the upper limit, but then they kind of say, well, we didn't really mean that. We actually meant 7.5% with an engineer's analysis. So 7.5% is kind of set as the industry upper limit for deflection. IDEM also has a standard, which is a 5% limit for sanitary sewers. This is rather arbitrary because, of course, there are different manufacturers with different profiles. There are different materials, right? There's polyethylene, polypropylene, PVC, etc. But these are plastic pipe limits. I'm not recommending that you don't follow them. I'm just saying that they're rather arbitrary. With that said, when we're controlling this, we're controlling the stress in the pipe wall, which controls the service life, right? If we have too much stress in the pipe wall, it's going to limit the service life, and we're not going to get, we talked about 100 years. Frankly, if a plastic pipe is put in correctly, Drexel University did a study that said that it will withstand the stress in the pipe wall for 2,500 years, right? So we want to make sure our installations are good. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we have problems, right? Where we have too much deflection. So the buckling limit is when instead of just being egg-shaped, that we start to have some inversion of the plastic or buckling. The buckling limit on our products, given our profile design, are about 20%. So if we have 20% deflection, that's when you're gonna start seeing this. And once you see this, you're out of luck. It's just gonna keep going. You can't stop it. It's gonna be a plastic failure. We talk about HDPE and the environmental stress cracking. If we start getting deflection in HDPE up in that kind of 13 to 15% range, you shouldn't be surprised to see some cracking in the pipe. So again, if we're controlling the deflection at that 5 to 7.5% range, we're in really good shape.
So that's all based on installation.
Yes, that's right.
That's the key.
Yep. Okay, so all the things, we just looked at that. Let's go back one slide and just real quick take a glance at, we can kind of picture that, the forces that are on that pipe to make it not be round, to make it be egg-shaped, right? So now let's go back to the concrete pipe. So this is a representation of concrete pipe. For plastic pipe or concrete pipe, if we get a good installation, we're in compression all the way around, right? See all these arrows pointing in there? That's indicating compression all the way around the circumference of the pipe. If we don't get a great installation, we get deflection in plastic pipe, or we don't get deflection in a rigid pipe, right? But we can kind of picture what those forces are trying to do to the rigid pipe. They're trying to put the concrete pipe in tension on the inside, right at the crown and at the invert, and on the outside at the spring line. It's trying to take that concrete and put it in tension, right? And we all know, just real quick, compression is when it gets pushed together, and tension is when it gets pulled apart, right? Concrete is really strong in compression. It's not strong in tension. So when we go to tension, when we don't get a great installation in concrete, we have 4 zones that go into tension, and that's why we have steel in our concrete, right? It's the R, the reinforcing part, right? So concrete cracks, cracks due to shrinkage as the water, as it hydrates, it cracks due to handling, and it cracks due to loading. Again, strong in compression, weak in tension, so we add the steel. If we're in tension in concrete pipe, it's designed that way, right? It's designed, we've got steel to take the load. That's what it's supposed to do, and that's, it's functioning correctly. However, as we get the cracking, we're going to limit our service life because we're exposing that steel. It's gonna oxidize. You're gonna have spalling off the oxidation is gonna force the concrete off the steel, and you're gonna have, exposed steel, oxidation, rusting, et cetera. And then the cross-sectional area of that steel is reduced over time. So, next. So, with that said, plastic pipe, when we have a problem, if we have a granular envelope around it, we can re-round it. We can go in and we can induce a high-frequency vibration. It's high-frequency, low-intensity vibration. And we can take that envelope around the pipe. We've got a egg-shaped pipe. We can take that envelope and move that granular material back to the correct location and be fully consolidated. At which point, once it's fully consolidated, you have no more movement. So, yes?
Can you do that in corrugated and smooth wall?
The corrugated, you're gonna have a much harder time.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. And also, if you're using corrugated, you're probably not in a granular material, most likely. I think you're probably asking about ag applications, and you've probably got clay around you, and you're out of luck there. Okay.
Does that add life to it, or what have you seen when you re-round it? How long will it stay and without a 7.5% deflection?
So once you get it there, your envelope around it is fully consolidated and it's static, right? It's not gonna move. And therefore you've controlled the stress in the pipe wall. It's static, it's not moving, so it should last forever.
At least 100 years.
At least 100 years, yes. If this is a picture of inside of a sanitary pipe. If you have a problem in a sanitary pipe, a leaky joint, we have the ability. The plastics, you can weld it. That's how we make our fittings and stuff. So they can get in there and they can weld it shut. We can do things like sectional CIPPs, which is actually one of the objections to plastic pipe is the utility bores. Everything goes in, everything's perfect. They walk away, and the utility company comes and pokes a hole in it. And one of the good economical solutions to that is a sectional CIPP. It's a resin liner, like if you would line an entire pipeline, they can do that down to 24 inches. So pull that utility out, use a little sectional CIPP, 24 inches long, and you're good to go. And actually, there we go. That's what that is. Good. So why would we use HP when we have a great product in concrete? Both products are 100-year service life. We get better field production with the plastic pipe. We have fewer joints. We have better joints. The trucking piece is much easier, right? Fewer trucks, cost savings, and then some periphery stuff that some people worry about and some people don't. But when you cut concrete, of course, you have to be careful about what you're breathing, and plastic, the case can be made for lower CO2 emissions too. So that's it on the commercial transportation part of it. For the ag part. This ASTM standard was updated. ASTM F449 was updated this year. This is for agricultural drainage applications. Now that this is updated, this is in the process of being updated, and I think it's gonna be done next month. So I will get that to David, and it's this is a good document, but this will be a much more user-friendly document for your ag applications. Next. Of course, we can use the V-bottom for the small diameter stuff, a trapezoidal bottom for that 8 to 24 inch, and then a circular bottom for anything 8 through 60 inch. Just a quick representation of a spoon on a bucket for creating that rounded bottom. Next. And what I handed out is a copy of the ASTM standard, a copy of ADS tech notes for this one. Again, this is the recycled pipe, 40% recycled content. This is for the virgin pipe or recycled pipe meeting virgin standards. And this is for the polypropylene pipe. And then also there's a trench detail there. But ultimately, I think, and what I could gather is that you guys have a lot of conversations about particularly your regulated drains and how you want to be constructing those. Those documents will give you some very good guidance. And the answer is, yes, you can use shaped bottom trenches, depending on what pipe diameter you have and depending on how much cover you have, right? And one of the things that we really want to make sure of, particularly on that rounded bottom trench, is that we have a spoon that is really conforming to the pipe, right? And the detail that you have in there, it shows you don't want any greater than a 1 inch gap from the edge of the excavation to the edge of the pipe, in order to control the deflection and then the stress in the pipe. So.
And the type of soil.
Yeah.
That's important.
That's important too, right? Yeah, it's kind of assuming with those comments that you're in kind of a clay.
Right.
But yeah, so, and I think probably a good thing to do is look at the cover limits for the different rounded bottom trenches and such. You know, you're looking at 6, 8, 10 feet, depending on diameter, versus if you are in a granular material, that's when you get into that, 30 feet or whatever. So that's a pretty good indication of the quality of installation. But yes, you can get by with the shaped bottom in the ag applications with low cover if you do it well. That's it.
Thank you very much.
The engineers in the room are geeking out on this. But I think it's important for you all to hear this. Joe did a great job of presenting. And it's just, the more education we have, the better decisions we'll make. So any questions you have of Joe?
Yeah, Joe, on the V bottom, you said it's only good to 8 inch.
Yeah, that's what the recommendation is.
You're saying, okay. I know there's just like, there's a lot in the ag, there's a lot of tile plows that, go above 8 inch that have V bottoms.
Right. Yeah, and there's some discussion in there about some of the benefits of the V-bottom relative to, some of the dirt clods and stuff getting in there, giving them a place to go, and then kind of falling down in that V and then supporting the pipe below. But that is the recommendation, is 8 inch.
I'll put it back up for you guys to see what he's talking about.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
Yes.
If you have some of that, you can always send it to me and I can get it to the drainage board as well.
Okay, I will follow up when that PPI document comes out.
Yes, thank you.
Great.
Sorry, Joe, one last question. Yeah. On the polypropylene, is that too stiff for like a single wall application or like, on the ag side?
So we don't make single wall polypro. We make 12 through 60 inch dual wall.
Yeah.
Or triple wall.
It sounded like it's stronger, and I just didn't know if it was eventually make it into the ag side
It's
or.
absolutely relevant to ag main installations, absolutely. It's stronger, and one of those tech notes covers that, and you can kind of see that you get a bump in your cover heights and stuff. Definitely applicable, it's just a little bit more money.
Yep.
Yeah.
The installation probably is more money involved. Because you can't use a wheel machine with that, can you?
If you're creating a rounded bottom, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
For sure.
Yeah, something to consider. But it is more
You
expensive.
get an extra long boot, and go to the 13-foot lengths. It's a little bit slower, but you still have to manually put that length in and get it tucked.
Right.
And then put your rock over it.
Okay.
But you just have to have an extra long boot behind your machine.
And on that, I think one consideration is those joints are really tight.
Yeah.
So I think probably what you're gonna wanna do on that, I would guess, is probably have us manufacture it without gaskets on it. Right or wrong? I mean, depending on what your soil types are.
Most guys will follow up with a mini or an excavator and push that joint in.
Yeah, okay.
Some boots have a hydraulic cylinder to push them together, but yeah,
On those
I
long
think in
boots,
some-
the new boots do have the hydraulic push.
Okay.
Does that affect where they're pushing that pipe? Is that,
It's a square push.
okay,
They're not gonna damage that push.
Okay.
Or damage that pipe, just pushing in the gaskets.
okay.
Because I mean, technically, that's your next joint, so
Yes.
if you did damage it, you wouldn't be able to put the
Yeah.
next pipe in. So-
Interesting. Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, Joe, for coming.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Do you have, Joe, do you have cards?
We got it.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
Joe, have they changed the civil engineering at Purdue to do anything with subsurface drainage?
There's not much going on there.
The answer is no. They don't pay attention to us.
You said, yeah.
So my daughter's actually in the civil program up there. We were up there with an academic advisor yesterday, and it's interesting how the program's changed. For instance, like thermodynamics is no longer, they kind of watered down thermodynamics a little bit and stuff like that, so. Yeah. All right, appreciate it.
Well, I have,
That's good. Do you want in the audience have anything to bring before the drainage board? Anyone on the drainage board have anything to bring before the drainage board? Yes. Go Boilers. Chair will entertain a motion.
Move to adjourn.
Second,
Move to second. Meeting is adjourned.
thank you.
Might want to reschedule.
We'll call our meeting to order of the Hendricks County Commissioners, November 25th meeting. Please stand, thank you, for our pledge. And before we do the pledge, sorry, this is the week of Thanksgiving, but we're going to be thankful. But if you didn't know it, a little bit of history. It was in 1954 when President Dwight Eisenhower encouraged Congress to insert the words "under God" in the pledge. And before that, those words were not in there. That's why we say it today and continue to say it. So join me in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join me in prayer, if you would. Heavenly Father, we are grateful this week for your love, your provision. Even when we don't see your goodness, we are thankful. Please guide us with your spirit, fill us with your peace and joy, and we give you praise and thanks, for you are a worthy God. Thank you for this week of Thanksgiving and for this country we live in. Guide us with your direction today in our meeting. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Mr. President, thank you for that reminder about President Eisenhower.
You're welcome. A little bit of that doesn't hurt. Helps to have grandchildren that remind you as well. So, all right. Just another quick comment. We only have one meeting in December, and that's December the 9th. So keep that in mind if you want to attend that meeting. We will not have two. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of our November 12th meeting and the November 12th Commissioners' Executive Session.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the claims that were sent to us.
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded 2 times. Thank you for that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, unfinished business. Mr. Ayers.
Yeah, the unfinished business is an official award of the Ronald Reagan Parkway Phase 1B. When we opened bids at the last meeting, you did a conditional award. We had not reviewed them yet. I just looked at the dollars to confirm the low bidder. Since that time, we've reviewed the bids and made sure everything was compliant with the requirements. My understanding is we won't sign an actual contract yet until after the financing is in place, but I think those bonds went up for sale last week, so I haven't heard from Veritas how that went, but anyway, so we need to make a motion to officially award it, not a conditional award.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to award the Ronald Reagan Parkway Phase 1B bid to Kreider and Kreider in the amount of $23,723,000. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, John. John, you're most of our meeting today.
Okay, I don't know that that's good, but.
It is good.
Okay.
It's always good.
We have the highway bids. We received the material bids for 2026. Typically what we do is I open them and acknowledge them here rather than read all of these because some of them are pretty lengthy, pipe and stone and so on. What we'll do is Kim's here and then Casey Johnson, the Assistant Superintendent of the Highways here, and they will go across the hall and read aloud the bids, certain bids to whoever's interested in those bids.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you guys have met Casey before. Casey, can you share real quick? Think about it.
We have
Casey's
met
the Assistant Superintendent.
Casey, thank you. Kim, thank you.
You met Kim before, that's why I didn't make him stand up.
Yeah. All right.
All right, first bids received are for fuel.
You just want to close the.
Oh, yep, sorry.
Oh, bids are closed now. Thank you. Thanks, Counselor.
First bids are for fuel. First bid is from Keystone Cooperative. And again, we're just acknowledging the receipts and opening them at this meeting. Next bid is from Petroleum Traders. Next bid is from Jackson Oil. That appears to be all the fuel bids. The next bids we have are for bituminous materials, asphalt. First bid is from Evergreen Roadworks. And they're bidding on liquid emulsion. Next bid is from Reef Riley. Next bid is from Milestone Contractors. And Asphalt Materials. E&B Paving. And now it looks like we're into stone bids. First bid is from Heidelberg Materials. Mark Marietta. Mark Marietta by Zimmer's is really good too. US Ag, US Aggregates. Putnam County Aggregates. S&G Excavating. Lincoln Park Stone. Now we're into pipe. First bid is from Metal Culvert. Next bid is from Civilcon. Core and Main, again, pipe bids. St. Regis Culvert. E3 Bridge. And now we're into other bids. This one's Accurate Striping for traffic pavement markings. Specialties Company, this is for guardrail. And this one, we're not sure what it is, but Milo and I decided we should open it here anyway. I don't think it's a bid, but I'm not sure. Now, it's a request from a plan room for bid results from Bridge 28, which is the one we're bidding in December. Okay. So that is not a bid. I'll clean up my trash pile on the floor here, but that ends all the bids we received. So anyone that's interested in hearing results of any of the bidding, if you go across the hall with Casey and Kim, they'll read aloud what it is you're interested in. Is that okay, Greg?
Yes, that's good. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good. And John, thank you.
You're welcome.
We will award those at our December 9th meeting.
Correct. Yeah, we'll bring back a recommendation on all this.
Okay. John, we have right-of-way permitting next on the agenda.
Yes, we changed, about 2 years ago, we changed our permitting ordinance for right-of-way and driveway permitting, actually added driveway permitting. Since that time, we've been doing it kind of pseudo electronic. The forms are online, but there's not really an electronic process to submit them. We like to go with iWork systems to provide a permitting software and package to do that. Planning and Building uses them. Clean Water just recently signed an agreement with them as well for permitting. So that will tie all our permitting together. It allows us to tie it into the GIS system more easily. The contract is, I believe, a 3-year contract at $11,000 per year. We did negotiate the fee down some. I also had a couple other things changed in the agreement. One that will let us use our current credit card system that we use now. That will let us use that instead of their system. And then also they did have a clause in there originally that required business to be done in the state of Utah. They took that out, so, because that's where they're based.
Yeah.
So I would request your approval on that agreement.
Question, Mr. President?
Sure.
John, will this be pertinent to the field entrance I asked you? Is that how they?
Yeah, driveways and any right-of-way cuts would go through this. Yes.
Well,
We can still do it. If somebody doesn't want to do it this way, we can still walk them through and do it from our end if they don't want to use this system.
Well, in the past, our driveway ordinances, partly because people were just throwing them in everywhere. And the slope, no one took the slope into consideration. Will they set the?
Oh, no, all this is the program to process the
permit.
permit, right. This doesn't change our ordinance language dictates all that. And it
You
would
then-
review. All this does is set up how we process the.
You or
permits.
the staff then will go out to make sure the slope is correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'll move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to award the right-of-way permitting to iWork. Is that pronounced correctly? iWork. $11,000 per year, a 3-year contract. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Thank you, John. John, the next item is proposal for County Road 1000 North with the Lockmiller Group.
Lockmiller is our design consultant on that, and if you recall back in the spring, we had a public meeting for that, kind of an informational meeting. That did not satisfy the requirements of the federal environmental process. They require a public hearing, but because we were buying right-of-way early and there was a lot of questions about it at that time, we decided to go ahead and have a public meeting. And we had an item in the original agreement because any federal aid project has to have, a certain amount of environmental activities, and one of those is usually a hearing if there's enough interest. So there was an item in the original contract for $25,000 to cover the hearing. We used that fee for the public meeting in the spring, and now we're ready to have the actual hearing in December, and this is to cover that. So it's the same amount as in the original agreement. We're just having 2 meetings instead of 1. And I think it was the right thing to do in the spring because we were in the midst of buying right away, and there was a lot of questions, a lot of concerns that I think we addressed in that meeting.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Second question, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Is there another, someone told me there's another meeting coming up for the $1,000?
That's what I'm talking about here. In December 18th. December 18th.
Thank you.
And this is actually an amendment, number 1.
This is an amendment to their original agreement.
Contract, yeah. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay. Thank you. Thanks, John. Next on our agenda is IDEM certification of financial responsibility that I had already signed, I believe, and you need to make sure that you agree that I signed it.
This is part of our underground storage tank permitting.
Oh,
Yeah.
Move for approval.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, thank you. We got that done. And then John proposed ordinance for no truck traffic on a portion of the Ronald Reagan Parkway.
Right.
And this actually is this needs to be a public hearing, right?
Yes, we need to set the public hearing date. This is for the part of the parkway we
Right now?
just,
December 9th.
December 9th, we'll have a public hearing on this, okay?
this is for the part of the parkway north of 600. Just because until it connects through to 1,000, there's not a good outlet. 750 north is not good for truck traffic, 700 is slightly better. But really, unless they're making local deliveries, there's no reason for truck traffic to go north of 600. The logical route is to take 600 over to, because most of it's going to Northfield Drive. And a lot of it's gonna depend on how Google directs them. And right now, there doesn't seem to be a big issue.
It is.
Because I don't think Google knows that's open yet. So if we have an ordinance in place, that allows us to control traffic a little better going north of 600.
So you need a motion for that, Mr. President?
Yes, we do,
Move for the hearing to be held December 9th.
on December the 9th.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Thank you. Let's see, our next item is going to be tabled till our December 9th meeting, I believe. Ian and Doug need to talk more about this proposal. So we will table that for today's meeting. That'll save us about an hour, I think, today. No. Our next agenda item, Doug Morris, Network Solutions, Cisco Enterprise Agreement.
Yes, this was what we discussed last meeting. Had Greg review it. He was okay with the terms and conditions. Again, just a quick recap. This is it is an agreement that takes all of our existing systems we have currently with Cisco, puts them under one umbrella agreement, and spreads that cost out over 5 years. I know it's a little bit longer than what we tend to like, but because of the pricing structure of what we're at, 5 years was the best we could do. It's negotiated pricing through the state of Indiana, so there's not, it's through a QPA purchase. We just need a signature from the committee, approval from the commissioners, and a signature by you, Denny.
Okay. Chair would entertain a motion to approve this.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. It's a 5-year agreement, you said, and this amount is for
60,000,
that
yeah.
5 years. Okay.
Yeah, each year for 5 years, yes, correct.
That is not the amount per year.
It is the amount per
It
year.
is the amount per year.
Correct,
So it is-
yes. 60,000, yeah.
61,000 approximately per year.
Correct.
for
The
5
total
years.
contract is about 300, yes, correct.
Okay.
Yes, unfortunately, IT is expensive.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Very
Thank
good,
you,
thank you,
Doug.
appreciate it.
Mr. Parmalee, insurance discussion. Thank you. Good morning, John.
How's everybody? Good.
Very good.
So, did you forward their email? No. I brought you some goodies to read.
Okay.
Sure, it's easy reading.
Well, you know, I went to Indiana State, so I tried to make it real simple. So,
Very good.
here you go. So, this is work comp only. I can talk about whatever else you want to talk about, but this is kind of a work comp discussion.
Is this what we had in our packet, I think?
The first pages, yes.
Yeah, and
We
then
got it. Okay.
I kind of bullet pointed a few other
Okay,
things. So
very good.
this spreadsheet right here, if you go, this is a history, if you will, from 2021 all the way to current. On the very right side, that is what the renewal is today with IPEP. And if you look at the 25 payroll, might have some notes on it. The 25 payroll, that has not been audited yet, which will be audited. We met a couple weeks ago with Aaron and a few folks to try to get away. We've been having 13, 14, 15% audits because payroll's been growing. So we spent some time, went through all the lists. We've got that cleaned up. This payroll that you see there, the 36 million, is the projected for next year based off of the information that we went through out of your payroll system. Okay, that's a Cliff Notes version of how that meeting went. So that number that you see there, and if you, is pure rate. So work comp is rated on a rate per $100 of payroll by the classification. So you see over to the left side, it tells you whatever those classes are, they have a rate. Our rate has not changed year over year. Our credit has not changed year over year. Our experience mod has changed. It went from 0.74 to 0.95. And that is based off of historical payroll as well as claims information. And there's this long formula, and that's set. I have nothing to do with that. That's an outside bureau that does that, okay? And so that mod is up, 21 points. So if you had the exact payroll this year, it would be 21% less solely because of the mod, okay? So because the payroll is up, that's why the premium is up. Go to the next page. Talk about self-insured. We've been down this road talking about this is a work comp presentation. There are some, I put estimate because it sounds a little bit better than guesstimated. So, but I will have firm numbers really soon. But if you were to go to a self-insured, your premium would be $113,000 estimated. TPA fees, so you'd have to have somebody to handle the claims, pay the claims. That's probably, realistically, probably gonna be 35 grand, not 30, but I'm working on that. And you look at your 5-year and 10-year losses. So that's how we figure out, does it make sense or does it not make sense, okay? I like to look at 10 years because I think it's the best skew, but 5 years have trended up. And as our payroll increases, claims probably will increase a little bit. Actuarially should, and premium's gonna go up too. So if you go to self-insured, the county would be responsible for the first $500,000 of losses on everything except emergency services. That'd be first $750, okay? If you just use the 10-year savings, we would have the potential to save about 96 grand if the history works as if it has. Okay, that's the Vegas in this that we have a little bit. Okay, now a couple things I will say to just I'm here to not make a decision. I'm here to get your ideas. Okay, a couple things I will say. The IPEP premium, I can drive it down. I know I feel I can get 5 to 10% reduction in that premium, okay? So that's gonna almost cut our number in half. Not quite, but in half. Just had a conversation with the sheriff. We use, with IPEP, they use a Protein Tactical that does their MRIs. When they have a loss, a physical loss on that side, that's who kind of does the rehab, does the MRIs, does all of that. And then they have a psych side that is specific to that. I have found if we left IPEP, we would not have access according to Protein's contract because they're exclusive to only IPEP folks. We could discuss that at a later date, but that's what they've chosen to do. So we would not have access to the health side of that, but I just told me that we can get to the psych side through Hendricks County Regional, okay? That is one discussion point, okay? So I guess the TPA that we would use would be JWF. They're, full disclosure, we own them. They are based out of Indianapolis. They're the #1 TPA for public entities in the state of Indiana. I just moved another municipality there, and I'd be happy to share with references with you if you want to discuss that. They're good. I'm comfortable. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. It's going to give me problems because if you get problems, I get problems. We all have problems, and I don't like problems.
Question, Mr. President?
Yeah.
So, John, is it the TPA who confirms that the injury is legitimate?
The TPA.
Okay.
The TPA. So it'd be from a Hendricks County employee, and you would not see any different. Now you have an IPEP adjuster there. You'd have a JWF adjuster. They adjust the claim. They vet the validity of the claim. They go through all of that. The question is it worth the risk to save 45 or 50 grand? I often say I don't make business decisions, I make ideas. It's probably a little lean in my estimation, especially if I can drive, if I know I can drive the premium down some. I mean, just how much. I'm here to check a temperature, that's it. I told you I'd bring you some ideas, and I want to bring you some ideas. And I oversimplified it too, with about 5 bullet points, so, you know, questions. I can firm the numbers. If you want to see them firm, I'll get them. I'm already in the process of I'm going to get them firm.
So the question is really going self-insured or not, and that's
correct. That's really all.
That's where we're at, and we've kind of asked that, and now you're bringing it to us. Do we tell you to keep pursuing it and we'll move in that direction, or do we want to stay the way we are?
I think we always want to continue to.
Oh, we have to
look
continue
at
to
it.
look. Oh, 100%.
For $50,000, I don't see enough benefit for the added risk that we're gonna take.
And I will firm the numbers because I've already sent everything out to firm the numbers. So when I come back with a full, you'll have firm numbers. And it's not something that has to be done today either, by the way. I mean, it's something that.
You need direction though. Are we gonna move in that direction?
Well, I kind of wanted to share this with you, and I kind of thought that opinion is what would come of this.
Yeah.
You know, I kid around a little bit. It's really, I mean, just how much Vegas do you have in you? I mean, that is a little bit of a gamble.
He has more than Bob and I.
Because I was there this weekend.
I would have guessed that as well. So, but I'll firm the numbers, but I mean, I feel like it's probably not right. Switch gears just a little bit and go to the property casualty side. I do have an option. I will have one more. I was supposed to have it last Friday. I'm not going to get it till Monday or Tuesday. I will put that together in a spreadsheet like I always do and put together some things, send it to Todd, share it. We can discuss it. My goal is to try to have that to you before the next meeting. Not necessarily to have to make a decision, but to at least I can discuss it here or offline, or anybody can call me or whatever. That's going to be an interesting find. So,
John did discuss this with me prior to the presentation, and I told him I thought the amount of savings, as Brad mentioned, wasn't worth the risk. But that's not my decision to make, that's yours. And that's the reason he's here, is to test your temperature on it.
I think you're reading us correctly at this point in time, and that even though Bob and I don't go to Vegas like others do, we're willing to be together on this, and so we'll look forward to the next discussion, which would be at our December 9th meeting.
Yeah, I'll share all of that, yeah.
Where we do need to make a decision then for next year, or?
Only if we would change, I think.
We'd have a month. I mean, we'd have plenty of time. I'm trying to get you the information so that we can discuss it on all the lines. As the payroll grows and as the county grows, you know, that it's going to get wider and wider. So it's, to me, it's a, you know, what's our 1, 3, 5, and 10-year plan? I think we're closer to 3 than we are 10.
Yeah.
My opinion. Yeah. But I don't think we're there today.
Okay.
Just wanted to share.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
John, you've worked with us for years, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Next item on our agenda is comments from the floor. Do we have anybody from the public that would like to speak to us, make comments?
Good morning.
Tell us your name and address, please.
Anthony Gary, 5794 Courtyard Crescent. Good morning, everyone. I'm here to ask for Ronald Reagan Parkway Phase 1B new roadway construction. We're really excited about that. Do we have an anticipated start and completion?
We don't have an anticipated start date. We have 60 days to award the bids because of the bond sale, and following that, we will meet with the contractor and see what their time schedule is. The construction duration is a year and a half.
Wonderful, thank you.
I would anticipate it sometime in spring, early spring.
Okay. Very good. Great. Anyone else? Tell us your name and address, please, Jim.
Jim Murphy, 10726 North State Road, 267, Brownsburg, Indiana. As you recall, I came here last month and talked about detour routes, Ronald Reagan. And so what I've got laid out here before you is, if I recall right, no construction will take place on 1000 North this in 2026. Utility location only. That was past history. It might have changed.
Most likely, the original bid date for that project was July of '26. So to that scenario, construction may start by the end of the year. I think we're gonna have to move that, we're gonna have to adjust that date back. So it probably won't start in '26. That's correct.
So I got looking, and I mentioned to John, the original detour route was to go to Boone County 750 south and go around. However, we got the Ronald Reagan established, and talking to people in Brownsburg, I mentioned this to the assistant town manager, and told them I was going to present it to you folks. So if you come up the Ronald Reagan, it ends at 750 north. You go up 900 east to Maloney Road, go a quarter of a mile to 925 east, across to 950 north, then 950 north intersects there with 950 east, and you go up to 1000 north. And the original detour route was going to bring traffic back from Boone County down to the point of 950 east and 1000 north. So this is just another outlet to get traffic to move out of Brownsburg rather than using 267. And I just wanted to show it to you as a suggestion. And people have got to start laying that out. And as I also mentioned, the key to this thing is the closure of 900 east between 750 north, correction, no, that's right, 750 north and Maloney Road to install a culvert and move dirt. And in that regard, there was some discussion between John and myself about using a flagger. They did a project on 267 here in the past 2 months. There was a flagger, it was automatic. It didn't require anybody. It was portable. They moved it day to day as they were installing a cable line. No accidents, no harm, no foul. So that could be done, okay? And I just want to mention stoplight timing as it exists now on this extension of Ronald Reagan. I've seen so many people just get fed up and go right through a stoplight. And I would think traffic is light, then it's heavy, depending on school, church schedules, and so forth, that who's in control of that? Can we control it as a county at $500,000 intersection today? I just wanted to bring that up. Thank you much.
I'll have to check the timing on the signals, maybe see how they're set up, and see if we need to make some adjustments.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Any other comments from the floor? Okay. Hearing none, we will move to elected officials. Elected officials in the room, anybody want to say anything or forever hold your peace? All right. Thank you, hearing none. Staff reports, John Ayers.
There wasn't much else on my report. The letter of support that I said I would have, I do not, sorry.
Okay.
I'll get that, I'll figure that out somehow. And then a meeting scheduled next week with developers at I-7039. And then also just to note, we installed 2 speed humps on Medallion Drive yesterday morning. Sheriff and I have been talking about that for some time. We had some temporary speed humps up, they seem to help. So we put some permanent ones in yesterday morning.
Very good.
Other than that, I didn't have anything unless you have something for me.
Anything for Mr. Ayers? Okay, thank you. Mr. McCormick. Ron?
The items in my report don't require any action by you. They're for your information. I'll be happy to discuss any that you want to discuss.
Any questions for Todd? It's on his report. I'll make a comment about it on his item number 8. The Miles Farm home. I think some of us have toured it with the realtor that is representing the Miles family, and we have looked at it. The Miles family, so this old farmhouse is west of Danville on Rockville Road, Highway 36, out at the new housing development, not exactly across from the high school entrance, but close to that. And it's a beautiful old white farmhouse that is on about 2.5 acres of land.
In very good condition.
In extremely good condition. And the Miles family wants to give that to the county. So we would be required then to maintain it, upkeep on it, et cetera, and figure out what to use it for. We have not yet talked to the Historical Society, but I'm sure they might be interested in doing something with it. It's probably, we don't know the total numbers yet. Obviously, it would go off of the property tax rolls, so that would be good and bad, depending on how you look at it. But they're gonna be with us at the December 9th meeting, and we will accept that donation at that meeting by them. So that's on Todd's report to us. But it's a beautiful structure, beautiful old home that I think it's 150 years old, if I remember right. Beautiful place. Anything else for Todd? Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Morris, Doug.
The other item on my report is that longtime staff member retired last Friday. So we wish him well in his retirement, and then we're actively interviewing candidates to replace him. Nothing will probably happen throughout the first of the year, but
Okay.
fortunately December's a slow month for us, so we'll be able to pick up the slack until then.
Very good. Thanks, Doug. Paul, Mr. Weddle?
Well, all my stuff's going on.
All
I've
right.
got the roofing project there. They got some flashing to do, a little ridge cap. Basically some finishing up on it. The scaffolding should be going away in the next week or so.
Okay.
I've got furniture is being delivered while we speak for the courthouse and for Superior Court 2. And I've got carpeting is gonna go in there Friday. They're starting on it Friday morning. Hopefully that'll be done over the weekend, this weekend. And I'm still waiting on my furniture installer for an install date. They put all that furniture together and put it in as part of our package. But
like I said, the furniture is being delivered today. They're unloading it over in our storage building, and I've ordered a freezer unit for the animal shelter, so we'll get that back online as soon as it comes in. That's really about it.
Questions for Paul? Anyone? Okay. Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. Commissioners, any items from?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes.
I'm going to meet with the Union Township trustee and the Liston Town Council president and the Union Township Fire Chief. It's, hear me, absolutely not driven by Middle Township. But it's only due to our discussion that we've had about fire district on the west side.
Right.
To help them learn about what actually is going on, not what they hear through the grapevine.
Very good. Great. That's good, Bob. I think that's good to be proactive
That's
and
what,
ahead of that.
thank you.
And
So,
that's a good thing. So, anything?
Nothing.
The only other thing that I would mention is the Citizens Energy Group. We've had letters on that and the water lines they're putting in through the county, but especially Brown Township up north. And basically it's a dedicated water line that is going to go to Lebanon and the Leaf District up in Boone County, but they will not allow anyone to tap into it as it goes through the county, and it's going by a lot of different locations that several people would like to tap into. So we're going to probably make some contacts with the Citizens Energy Group and figure out a way to at least encourage them maybe to change their mind to not let people tap into that or not, since it's going right through that part of the county. So
thank you, Mr. President.
we'll see what happens. Anything else? With that said, I would wish everyone a very happy, blessed Thanksgiving. Appreciate all that everyone does. Thank you for our meeting today. With that, we are adjourned.